History of myself and my family in Walton County. My parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents are all local people. I actually was born in a county in Central Florida, but my parents, who were both from this area, moved back here in 1946. Actually, they were farming at that time with a family called Thad Bell. And Thad Bell was sheriff for, I believe, 16 years in this county, and his brother had been sheriff before him. So that's where the name Thad Bell Road has come from, is the Thad Bell who lived down this road. And actually, my parents lived on their property for a while, and for years my daddy farmed the Thad Bell farm along with his own and some others that was around here. What we like to call a poor land farmer, because that's really what they were. That's what most of the people out here were. And this end of the county, I guess everybody was on some type of farm, and they grew row crops. Cotton was a mainstay. Peanuts, corn. Everybody had a few cows. Everybody had a few chickens. Everybody had a few hogs. And actually, everybody was pretty much self-sustaining as far as the food supply was concerned. So, had a lot of experience of that growing up. And maybe one reason I wanted to do something besides farm was because of my growing up on one, and it was hard work, and that was the days before chemicals was used and all this modern equipment. I mean, we hoed cotton, we hoed peanuts, we hoed corn. We actually went in the fields with a hoe, and that's what you did all day, whether it was hot or cold or whatever. I mean, it's just what you did, is what you had to do to make a living. And picked cotton. I don't ever want to pick any more cotton. I had enough of that when I was a child. And I remember one of the happiest days of my life was 1957, I believe it was. The federal government came out with a program called the Soil Bank Program. And farmers could join the soil bank. It's primarily for people who were growing cotton. And if you wanted your cotton acres to go into the soil bank, the government would pay you a stipend for not growing cotton. And the year that my daddy got into it, we had cotton growing in the field at the time when he got into the program, and he had to plow up the cotton. And that was one of the happiest days I can remember, was when he had to destroy the cotton crop. That was not a fun job. I mean, and it was always hot in the cotton field. And at that time, we harvested cotton. We picked cotton before school started in August. And we'd always pick a bale of cotton. And Daddy'd haul it to the gin, and that's how we got our school clothes. The first cotton I ever picked, I was 5 years old. And I well remember the cotton was taller than I was. I had to reach up to pick it, but my mother, who happens to be a good seamstress, made me a pick sack out of a 25-pound flour bag. And that was my job, was to fill up the 25-pound bag with cotton. But as time went on and got a little taller, a little bigger, well, you had to learn to pick cotton while you were crawling. And of course the dirt was always hot. It was rocky. It had hard clods of dirt, and it was not very comfortable to crawl around on. But that's what we had to do to get school closed, to start school in August. And now they're picking cotton with $1 million equipment, and they'll start in October, November. And I remember here a few years ago, My neighbor was picking cotton in February. And I mean, we were through picking cotton by October. And then you went to help your uncles or your granddaddy or whoever, neighbors, whoever else was growing cotton. You went and helped them get their crops out of the field. And my daddy started out farming with a mule, actually. And he finally got a 2-row John Deere 40 tractor. And we thought we were in high cotton when he got that 2-row tractor. But he plowed up the peanuts, and you actually went behind that plow with a pitchfork, and you shook the peanut vines. You picked them up with a pitchfork and you shook them to get the dirt out of them. And then you stacked them. And before you could stack them, we had to go to the woods in the summertime, and we cut oak trees. And they had to be 8 feet long, 2 feet wet in the ground, and then you had 2 cross members of a piece of board or something that you put about a foot off the ground to hold the peanuts off of the ground when you wrapped them around the pole. And you shook the peanuts with a pitchfork, and then you wrapped them around we call it a haystack. And they would hang there about 3 weeks, and then you come back and you picked them. But there was a piece of equipment though for picking it, but usually one person in the community to have a picker, and they went from field to field to help out. But everything was done by hand, and it was all hard, hot work. I know I was in 2nd grade when I decided that I really liked school and I wanted to be a teacher. Well, I never changed my mind. Got out of high school, went to FSU, and I knew I wanted to teach school. That's all I ever wanted to do. And I stayed with it for 42 years, so then I always enjoyed it. But farming, when I was growing up in the 40s and the 50s and early 60s, was nothing but hard work. Hot, hard work. That's what we lived from, was the garden. My mom and daddy didn't go to town to buy groceries. We grew what we ate, and we ate a lot of what we grew. But life was very, very different than it is now if you're farming. I mean, now they got the big tractors with the air-conditioned cabs on them, and chemicals, so you don't have to do any kind of manual labor. But the small farmer, like we were, is gone. I mean, now they farm thousands of acres, or at least hundreds of acres, trying to make good use of all the equipment they've bought. At that time, in the 40s and the 50s, you had crop rotation. One year you'd plant peanuts on this particular land, and next year you may plant corn on it, or you might plant cotton, and you rotated your crops each year. As far as leaving land lying fallow, I don't remember any of that. I mean, you farmed all the acreage you had, and you hoped by the end of the year you made a little bit of profit, but that was not assured by any means. But anyway, we lived good, we were happy, and all the neighbors were the same way. I mean, we were all poor, but nobody knew it. We just all lived the same way. We're all doing the same thing of raising families and growing livestock, and the bus used to come through this road, and this Thadbell Road, and there'd be enough kids to load up a bus. Now the bus doesn't even come through here. There's no kids on this road, none. And the bus came through here. You caught the bus in the morning. I remember the first year I rode the bus, a high school senior was our bus driver. His name was Rex Wilkerson, and he was our bus driver for the first year. I mean, can you imagine now high school students being allowed to drive a bus? No, I don't think so. But everybody, all the families had kids. Some of them had a lot of kids. There's a family living right across the road from where we're sitting now that 7 kids in the family, you know, and they all were in school. And right further down there was 4 or 5, and there was 4 of us. And like I said, there was a busload of kids on this road, and now there are none. So all the small farmers like we were, that's been bought out and it's not used for farming, or it's rented out to somebody who does farming.